The first sound was the hollow tap of a cane against cold stone. Then came the soft shuffle of worn shoes, a quiet breath, and the faint creak of an old guitar case brushing against a wooden bench. The night was thick with mist. A single flickering light above the empty train station painted trembling shadows on the rain-slicked floor. He sat down slowly, placing the guitar on his lap as though holding something sacred. Something that had once been his voice, his purpose, his life. He couldn't see the puddles reflecting the dying lights, or the silhouettes rushing past to catch the last train, but he could feel the loneliness pressing around him. His fingers trembled over the strings. Then, in a voice cracked by years and wind, he began to sing. When the light fades and faces disappear, I still hear the laughter I used to hold near. The notes rose like a fragile prayer in the stillness. The echo of his voice filled the empty station, soft yet haunting. One by one, people stopped. A woman clutching her child, a man with tired eyes, an elderly couple waiting by the platform edge. No one moved. They didn't just hear him, they felt him. It wasn't just a song, it was a life poured into melody. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the strength that comes from brokenness, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness to Heart. Because some stories remind us that even when the world goes dark, the human spirit still finds a way to sing. His name was Aaron Cole, and once upon a time, his life had been full of color. He played in small cafes, in parks, on busy corners, wherever people stopped to listen. He didn't have much money, but his heart was rich in rhythm. And beside him always was Lily, an artist whose laughter sounded like spring rain. They had met years ago when Aaron was performing on a sidewalk. Lily had been sketching strangers for a college project, but when she heard his song, her pencil froze mid-stroke. Later, she told him, "You don't sing words, Aaron. You sing feelings." He had laughed then, that carefree laugh of a man who believes the world is still kind. Together, they dreamed of opening a small music cafe, a place where her art and his songs could live together. They called it Harmony House, even though it only ever existed on the back of napkins and late-night promises. But one rainy night changed everything. Aaron had just finished a performance and was driving home. The roads were slick, his windshield blurred with raindrops. A truck came out of nowhere. There was a flash of light, the sound of shattering glass, and then darkness. When he woke in the hospital, everything was black. He thought the room was dark. It wasn't. The doctor's words came like thunder. "Your optic nerves are damaged beyond repair." "I'm sorry, Mr. Cole, you won't see again." The silence that followed felt endless. He could hear Lily's sob, feel her hand in his, but even her warmth couldn't pierce the emptiness that had swallowed him whole. In the months that followed, Lily became his eyes. She guided him through streets, through pain, through grief. She told him what colors looked like. She described sunsets and paintings and smiles. And for a while, Aaron believed her love could fill the darkness. But as the days turned into years, the weight of his blindness grew unbearable. He stopped singing. He stopped dreaming. The guitar gathered dust in a corner, a silent reminder of everything he had lost. Then one night, half awake in bed, Aaron heard Lily crying in the next room. Her voice trembled as she whispered to a friend on the phone, "He's here, but it feels like I lost him twice." Her words broke him. Before sunrise, Aaron packed a small bag, took his old guitar, and left a note on the table. "I need to find my music again." He didn't know where he was going. He only knew he couldn't stay. That was 3 years ago. Since then, Aaron had become a traveler, not by choice, but by heart. He sang in train stations, under bridges, in crowded markets where no one knew his name. His songs were his compass, his confession, his way of surviving. Some nights, people stopped to listen. Some nights, they just walked by. But every now and then, a stranger's tear or smile reminded him that music still had a home in this world. One winter afternoon, he was singing in a quiet mountain village. His voice was hoarse from the cold, his hands stiff with frost, but he played anyway. When he finished, a small voice said shyly, "Sir, You sound like my dad used to. Aaron turned toward the voice. A boy, no older than 10, stood before him, wearing a patched jacket and holding a torn scarf. "What's your name, kid?" Aaron asked gently. "Noah," the boy said. "My dad sang too. He died last year. Mama says I should be brave, but I miss him most when it rains." Aaron's heart clenched. "Rain can sound lonely," he said softly, "but if you listen closely, it can also sound like hope." The boy sat beside him. For a while, they just listened to the wind. Then Aaron began to play again, and Noah leaned against his arm, humming quietly along. It was the first time Aaron had sung for someone, not something, in years. The next day, Noah brought him bread and hot tea. The day after that, he came with his small guitar, broken, missing a string. "Can you fix it?" he asked. Aaron smiled. "I can fix it, but only if you promise to learn." And from that day on, the blind traveler had a companion. Noah became his eyes, his guide, his reason to keep going. Together they sang in the streets, their laughter echoing through the hills. For the first time in years, Aaron felt something close to peace. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, Aaron was playing in the village square. The song drifted into the golden air, full of longing and light. Then, through the crowd came a voice, soft, trembling, unbelieving. "Aaron?" His hands froze on the strings. The guitar nearly slipped from his grasp. That voice, that single word. "Lily," he whispered. And then she was there, running to him, her breath catching, tears streaming down her face. She threw her arms around him. "It's you," she cried. "I knew it was you. I heard your song on the radio. I followed the voice. I followed the story. I found you." Aaron's hands trembled as he held her. For a moment, the world was nothing but that embrace. The smell of her hair, the warmth of her tears, the sound of her heart beating against his chest. Around them, the villagers stood silently, watching the reunion of two souls who had been lost to time but never to love. When they finally sat down, Lily told him what had happened after he left. She had turned his songs, the ones he'd written before the accident, into paintings. She had exhibited them to raise money for visually impaired children. "Your music," she said softly, "gave sight to others, Aaron, even when you couldn't see." Aaron smiled faintly. "Then let this next song be for them, for those who can't see light but still believe in it." He lifted his guitar again, his voice, fragile yet full of life, carried across the night sky. "I walked through the dark and lost my way, but I found my truth in what I couldn't see. Love is the light that never fades. Even blind hearts can set others free." Lily's tears shimmered in the firelight. "You found your way back," she whispered. Aaron smiled. "No," he said softly. "The music led me home." Years passed. Aaron's story spread far beyond the village. People called him the blind traveler with the golden voice. He performed at schools, hospitals, orphanages, anywhere hearts needed healing. Noah grew up and became a music teacher, helping children find their voices. Lily painted their journey in colors brighter than the sunrise. Aaron never regained his sight, but he didn't need to. He had learned to see with his heart. He heard the colors in laughter, the beauty in silence, the meaning in every sound. One evening, sitting by the sea with Lily beside him, he listened to the soft hum of the waves. The air smelled of salt and evening light. "Do you ever wish you could see again?" Lily asked quietly. Aaron smiled. "No," he said. "If I could, maybe I'd stop listening." He strummed his guitar one last time, his voice carried by the wind. Even when eyes close, hearts can see, and love still sings endlessly. The waves whispered his melody back to him, and for the first time in years, he felt complete. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness to Heart, because sometimes the smallest act of compassion or the quietest song can become the light in someone else's darkness. Special request, comment below, "I still believe in light." If you too believe that love and hope can be seen even when our eyes cannot,